What's up, everybody, and welcome in to the Backliners podcast. Aggro joined by BaRRaCCuDDa as per usual. Thanks for tuning in. Can you guys believe that it's the last episode of 2020 already? We're getting close to Christmas time. I'm traveling back to Pittsburgh to spend some time with my family, so I will be unable to do it. But Barra, this is our second to last podcast before Worlds. How does that make you feel?
Sad. Weird, actually, because I was really nervous to do the podcast anyways, this whole year. And then on the first episode, I've talked about this before on my stream, but I almost didn't want to do the podcast because I was so nervous that I'd be very bad at it.
Really?
And
I didn't even know this.
Yeah. Wait, really? I thought I told you. Or
You
talked
said
to you
that
about
you were
it.
nervous about it, but whatever story you're telling that you told on stream, I don't think I've heard.
Yeah, I was really nervous. The first episode, I couldn't calm down for like 15 or like 30 minutes. I was like, my heart was just pounding through my chest the whole time. And
I hope you still don't feel that way.
I don't. I'm completely calm. Right now, I don't feel anything.
It's a lot like Smite. You know, some podcast episodes are going to be good, some are going to be less good, and you just you go in accepting that, and everything gets better.
I haven't slept well in 5 days now. Yesterday, I streamed for 11 hours. Today, I'm about to stream for 10 hours, like combined total. So we're here for it.
Wow, that is being on the grind. That's that's what we like to see. Well, the big news of the week is that we just got done watching the SWC Wildcard round. That is where the best teams from the Smite Challenger Circuit and the Open Circuit competed to get a shot at Worlds. Only one team from each region. If you missed it, you can go to Smite VOD and watch it all. We'll also be putting out a little recap video on the Smite Pro YouTube. But the big news is that Belt Slap won Europe as expected, but not in the way that we expected. They got pushed to 5 games by the Snake Pit. Snake Pit being a genetics team that we knew would be pretty good, but not maybe not as good as we thought. That set to me, Barra, that set was long. It was very European, very slow action. And I'll talk about the overall meta a little bit later, but for Belt Slap in particular, what were some of the things that you saw them doing that you think could make them difficult opponents? Because you guys actually play Belt Slap, right? Is that
Yeah, it was announced.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Otherwise, I would have just announced it right now.
Yeah, don't worry, Hazer did that on my stream.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Hazer.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. So you guys will be playing Belt Slap as SSG as the top seed, number 3. They got to choose the winner, or they got to choose which wildcard winner they went up against. They went up against the NA one. What did you see from Belt Slap from watching their games? What are some of the takeaways you had?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't get to watch the finals because I was doing the charity stream.
Oh, that's right. Well, we gotta say thank you to everybody from the Smite community and Prediction, everything like that. Prediction set us up with the Humane Society. They're doing their December Dash event this weekend in order to raise money for a lot of great causes like stopping puppy mills and trophy hunting and all that kind of stuff. And our community kind of pogged off, Barrel.
Yeah.
What amount did you end up raising?
2,450.
That is absolutely insane. I did a very short, completely unplanned, unannounced stream on Friday night, and our community raised $1,000 on Friday, $2,450 on Saturday, so nearly $3,500 to the Humane Society. So thank you everybody who was able to help there and participate. Think you can go ahead.
I set my limit to 500, or like my goal. Sorry, I set my goal to 500. Idiotic thing to do with the Smite community.
Yes, very dumb. I did the same thing for what it was. Mine was even worse.
You said yours to 100.
I set mine to $100, and get this: before I was in my first game, someone donated $100 by themselves. Shout out to Forever from my stream community. He instantly hit the goal in the first 3 minutes of me being live, and I was like, I have made a grave. But like, it's awkward, man. You don't want to put it too high. That's the worst thing that you can do. Not hitting the goal is fine, but you don't want to be at like 100 out of 800. That was my worry. So I stand by shooting lower is better But I definitely shot. I definitely went too low. You definitely went too low.
I think I should have done like 1,000, and I also should have spread out my incentives because I did every $50, and we hit 1,000 in the first hour. I think.
Yeah, that was a big mistake by you for sure.
And so I had to eat lots of pickles. Destiny put makeup on me. Disgusting. I don't know if you know how much I hate pickles.
I hate pickles
but I
a lot.
hate pickles.
They're gross.
And
you know what everyone says? You know what everyone says? They go, you get a Chick-fil-A sandwich from like catering or something like that, and there are always pickles on it, and they go, oh, just pull the pickles off. These people don't get that there's a ton of residue there.
It's like poisoned everything that it touches.
Right. It's sogged into the bread, into the chicken. Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do.
Nope.
And it just sits there, and you have to either avoid it or put up with the bite that you know you're not going to like.
And it's dead center.
And you can't just like throw it away because like you don't want to waste food.
Right. You feel bad about it. It's
back
tough,
when we used to eat a lot of fast food, that would annoy me so bad because I would always be like, no pickles, no ketchup, no mustard, and it would just come ketchup, mustard, pickles, and I'm like,
can't eat it.
I would force myself to just not enjoy it.
Why?
Because I was raised to not throw away food.
I think didn't we talk about this last time that we did the AMA episode? Look, if something like pickles, sure, you can take it off. There's gonna be some residue, but it's not gonna ruin the whole sandwich most likely. But if you didn't want ketchup or mustard and they're putting both on there, you can't. Yep. I would send that back, dude. I wouldn't be able to stop myself. I wouldn't be able to eat it.
I was younger, and I would just put up with it and accept it and be like, okay, you win. Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Fair enough. No, pickles are gross. Oh. What was the other? There was something I wanted to watch you do for your incentives that I missed. What were some of the other incentives? I still have to play a scary game on stream. I'm going to schedule that for a different day and go through like a whole playthrough because I had to watch the wild cards, and then like right when the game before we watched semis or loser bracket finals, whatever. Right. And then during the finals, we did all of that stuff. And gotcha.
I don't remember.
Do you like cucumbers, by the way? Because I do like cucumbers.
I like them on salads. Yeah. I like them in small portions. I think if I was biting just into a raw cucumber, I would not enjoy it at all. But in small amounts in like a salad or like, okay, I like homemade pickles. I've had them at Ted's Montana Grill, and those are pretty good.
Interesting.
But
I haven't tried those. Maybe I'll give them a shot.
I love that place, by the way. Bison Burgers, oh, so good.
Yeah, Bison Burgers are really good. Oh yeah, Jake Toast. I wanted to see you eat that. Describe what Jake Toast is, number one, and then give me your review.
Okay, so I've had Jake Toast twice now. Okay. It is first layer toast, second layer crunchy peanut butter, third layer rice, and then I think the fourth layer is the egg. I get the egg and the rice mixed up.
Okay. I feel like the egg would have to be on top.
Yeah, I think so. And then it's a fried egg or runny egg. And I had it yesterday. It wasn't actually that bad when it was warm. And when I made it earlier for myself, it was not great, which might just be to my level as a chef that Destiny just makes better food, because she made it yesterday, and it was actually not that bad.
Okay.
Destiny... Oh, yeah, and sriracha sauce. Sorry, and sriracha sauce.
Okay.
Drizzled it across the top. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but once that thing gets cold, man, it is disgusting.
And Jake eats that literally every day, is what you said, right?
That is his one meal of the day.
He only eats one meal a day?
Yep, he's efficient, I think, is what he said.
Gamers, dude. I don't get it. I just eat normally. At me as well, for the record. But that's it. Sam for Soccer's in the chat saying peanut butter and rice is a combo.
It is.
It is? I was gonna roast him.
Yeah. No, I think like peanuts is very common in Asian food. I don't know if
peanuts, you're literally peanut butter.
I don't know if you're ever dipping your rice in peanut butter, like weird. Just like here's my sauce.
Yeah, like that's what I'm thinking. I don't know, man. Peanut butter is really good, and rice is really good. It does remind me of that one famous Reddit thread where it's like the guy would try anything and then try it with rice to see if his theory was that rice improved anything. And so people would just, you don't know what I'm talking about? You're giving me a face right now.
Never heard of that.
This is like one of the most famous Reddit threads of all time. It's great. I'll try and find it and link it to you afterwards because it's hilarious. He literally
Is it an old one?
Yeah, it's really old.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's just like he would give it a rating. It'd be like 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10 with rice. And it's just like really funny. I don't know. There's some weird stuff in there that apparently gets better with rice overall. Rice does probably improve just about anything. I made a rice. That
sounds like something Jake would do. Like make the Reddit thread, and they'd be like, rice improves everything. Here's my results. Here's my studies.
Yeah, that does seem like a Jake. It is Jake energy for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get back to what we were actually going to talk about. Wildcards. Belt slap. What did you see?
I don't think they looked as bulletproof and scary as I've heard everyone in the community talk about them being like this like top tier team, because I've never heard so much about an SML team as I have this year about Belt Slap. Not even trying to exaggerate here. No, I've just heard nonstop things about Belt Slap this year.
Yep.
And they just
undefeated
didn't look
every split. I'm pretty sure they won every single playoff event. They dropped one set to the Poppies in Phase 2 playoffs, I want to say. I want to say that's the only set they lost all year. So it makes sense that they've gotten a lot of hype. For those of you who might not have watched any SCC, Belt Slap is a European team comprised of Arkil, Trixtank, Johnny, Zeros, and Julio. So obviously star-studded. But for me, I think there is such a wide gap between the best SCC teams and the worst SPL teams. And it's like, and the reason that exists is not because the talent level. Obviously, the talent level of that Belt Slap roster is good enough to compete. Most of them are SPL, and everyone thinks that Johnny and Julio can compete at the SPL level. But it's the quality of your consistent practice is by far the most important factor for how good you are as a team, in my mind. Like that is number one. And in Europe right now, they just don't have that many good practice partners to go up against. And I think that just hamstrings them for being where the meta needs to be. Now, maybe they could come up with a meta and they just come out and look so good that everyone will adjust to them. But that's best case scenario for them, because if they have to adjust to SPL meta on the fly, bless up.
Yeah, which is like the old school kind of NA versus EU, like which meta will be better whenever we come to LAN, who's going to have to adjust to who.
Yep.
And I feel like now that we constantly play against Europeans and have a better understanding of their play style and how they want to play the game, it's just not that big shock factor from before. Also, Johnny and Zeros have been queuing a lot of NA ranked, so they're kind of giving us a lot of practice against them and the styles of games that they want to play.
Yep.
So yeah.
Zeros carried me the other day in ranked, and I appreciated him very much for it.
Yeah, and I don't think Zeros, like you said, can like evolve too much in Europe because they're just hamstringed over there.
Right.
Like it's just part of me loves the SPLs here, but I miss the whole like flying over to LAN and just these big LAN events like every 3 or 4 months where like everyone comes together and it's just like so much hype there.
Yep.
I do enjoy it now, and it's obviously the most competitive Smite has ever been.
By far.
Not
close.
But like the whole NA versus EU like energy, I guess. Like
it was fun.
I kind of wish Smite was like big enough to where NA had like its own SPL like thing, like local, and then EU has its own local.
Right.
And I don't know if that will ever happen, but
it would be sick. It would be unquestionably amazing. I've been watching a lot of old Worlds games for a project that I can't talk too much about. You guys will see it sooner rather than later. And man, dude, so many of those old sets were so great. I watched all of C9 Energy or Epsilon as I do every so often. And it was good. It was good. You were kind of pogging off in that set, Barry. Let me tell you.
I've heard so many people say that is the best set of all time, or LG versus
It is.
Energy the next year.
No, it's C9 Epsilon. Because no set has ever had that much hype coming in and then actually delivered. And I think that's a huge part of it. Now, if you're going back and if you're a recent Smite fan, you haven't seen some of these iconic sets throughout time, maybe you could find a more competitive one, but I don't know, man. The games, I will say the games were very snowbally in that C9 Epsilon set, except for game 1, I'm pretty sure, where you guys came back in that game.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure every other game was pretty one-sided.
Watching the plays that happen back then are just so different. Just the way you move around the map and the way people are caught out of position. It's just a less respectful version of Smite.
Yep.
Where now everyone's used to, like, after an objective, teams looking for a pick on a corner. Yep. And back then, you could just make so many different plays and do so many different things, where now everyone's just so used to it. Like,
yeah.
It's so hard to...
It is so crazy how snowbally the games were, man. I mean, you would, like, it was not uncommon to have, like, a 14K lead at 18 minutes. Like, you could really just gun teams down once you got ahead on that map in particular. Dude, and I was rewatching your LG Energy set, Season 3, and I was like, dude, they are owning this game. What happens? And then you go and do that Gold Fury where they chase you down and kill you, and because you would have been up 2-0 in the set. That was game 2, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, man, I remember watching this live and being like, why did they do that gold? And I'm watching it again, and it's like I'm watching a train wreck in slow motion. I'm like, oh, don't do it, man.
That's don't remember that gold, I'll be honest.
You would if you watched it back, I promise. Dude, you guys were in a commanding position. Like, you had that game. If you had gotten your backs off that game, you win that set. I think it's that clear.
Dang.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember correct, I watched so many games in a short period of time. I literally watched like 30 Smite games in the last 24 hours. So I'm not exactly sure that this is true. But I'm pretty sure they Yanis sniped you. They like Yanis sniped to the gold and brought everybody. I think you would either just gotten mid Phoenix or like just pushed to mid Phoenix. And they drop shipped their whole team to gold. Instead of you guys resetting, you tried to do the gold. And
you guys, I actually remember that.
3 of you died, and then you lost left Phoenix off of it.
Well, I think it was because our retreat path was so bad.
Yes.
I think I remember that.
Well, you shouldn't have done the gold either. The gold was what kept you there long enough for that to work.
Like, I remember our comms being like, we can do gold, and then everyone should stick together on the way out. And I think... Didn't Xeno just instantly die?
Yeah, pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you lost Xeno. You were like one of the only people to live. It was like you and one other person. I think it was like you and Jeff or you and Baskin.
Yep. You mean Scary?
Or yeah, Scary. Or maybe it was Mask. Because I think you actually just straight up lost off of it. Did they just march down left Phoenix and end from there? Because then like Mask died defending left Phoenix. I don't know. It was heartbreaking, bro. I watched it again and I was like... Also, it is so funny how, like, caster bias is something everyone talks about, but when I'm listening back to Energy's or Epsilon C9, Bart and DM are like straight up mad when Epsilon start winning. Like, I can feel it. I can feel it in their energy, and I was like, man, they really wanted you guys to win. I could feel it.
Yeah, then game 3 was the adapting Finner and Jeff not getting beads on Terra.
Yep.
I think that was literally the whole game. Yeah, and then game 5 was Dimmy getting a 3-man tier push.
Dude, it was right off Mask getting a really good ult, too. And you guys were about to, like, you're going to kill someone, and then Dimmy just hits the world's best Fearless and ends the whole game. And you're like, all right, I guess. Like,
I was talking about, like, level 1. I think we level 1 invaded.
I'm thinking of a different game.
And then you got 3-man Fearless.
Oh, yeah, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was like a mid-tier 1. Mask gets, like, a big ult. Dude, Mask popped that set, for the record. Like, he was doing so well.
When Mask is passionate and focused, he is, like, I think probably the best jungler in North America if he has that kind of mindset, and drive.
Yeah, I think I would say Mask is the second best jungler NA's ever had behind Scream. Obviously, this year has been a rough one for Scream.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you can't argue with the resume. You can't argue with the resume for Scream, though. I mean, he's been on a top team for so long in NA. This year, aside, Scream I think is undoubtedly the best jungler in NA.
Trust me,
all time.
When you have a career, like, you have some bad years.
Yep.
You just put him behind you and keep going.
Yep. Sam is upset that he's not number 1 NA. Sam, you've literally played for like 2 years, bro. Like, we're talking over a longer period of time here, bud.
I actually thought about that in the formation of my sentence, and you know what made me not be number 1, Sam? Killing me as Thanatos between my towers.
Yep.
I'm hand off the keyboard looking at my chat, man. I'm playing ranked, like, just don't do this to me, man.
It's messed up.
Let me relax.
Sam says that focus up. I mean,
okay, bro.
I don't know how you come back from that one, Barry. He kind of got you there. He kind of got you.
So back to belt slap.
Yeah, back to belt slap.
Mm-hmm. We have been very focused.
Very focused.
I think we should 3-0 them if we do our prep correctly. And I agree with that. Have to be ready for any like wild things that they do, but based off our scrims this year, everyone's been trying like different starts and weird things to kind of mix up what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they can't do anything that I'm not already prepared for or that we've tried ourselves.
How about, it was worse in Europe than it was in NA, but I feel like there's a good point to talk a little bit of what we saw in meta. Healers, bro, my goodness. I mean, in Europe it was even worse, dude. There was one game that was like Afro, Hell, Kali, Guan.
What? Oh, not on the same team. Okay.
Afro and Hell might have been. Genetics ran Afro support.
Oh.
I don't know if it was... No, it was Chang'e. I think they had Chang'e. The other team had Hell or something like... I don't know. It was nuts. It was disgusting. I didn't want to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are you... Obviously, I don't want to hear your plans on how you combat that in competitive because, I don't want you to tip your hand. But what advice would you give to ranked players right now? Because after this, team in ranked, I think Chang'e, everything is going way up.
Mm-hmm.
What do you expect? What do you hope that ranked players will learn to combat all the healing?
Just go play World of Warcraft for a while.
Okay, all right. But what if they don't have a WoW subscription? They're playing the Smite free-to-play game, better game. That's just kind of how it goes. What do you give us some advice, Bear? Come on.
Google top free games.
Okay, man. Also, buy gems while you're at it. I gotta balance out the energy, man. I gotta keep it here,
I hate healer meta.
Retweet.
I think healer
no
meta...
one should like it.
Yeah, it's not fun to watch. It's not fun to play as,
Definitely
and it's not fun to practice against.
Sure not.
And it's not fun to play versus. Like,
correct.
Dude, everything about healer meta is not fun. You have to buy Ankh.
Yep.
Wait, what?
I said stinky in order to reinforce that it was stinky.
The MLC stealth insult.
Wow.
You have to buy Ankh, you have to buy Brawlers, you have to buy Divine. And sometimes if the team buy goes long enough, you think you need another Ankh.
Yep.
And if you're diving the healer and you don't kill them,
you lost.
You lost.
Yep.
So you better hope that your 3 frontliners are working perfectly together.
Yep.
Or you lose.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Feels
what
good.
A great meta. That's just so cool. Especially when the healer is like a Hell and can also 2-shot you going into the mid game.
Yo, I hate Hell so much, man. She might be the worst of all of them. She might be. Because she does 1-shot you. I don't get it.
Yeah. Really cool character.
My advice, obviously the same as Barra's. The big thing for me is that I think it does dictate what gods you can pick. If you pick Giannis in your games, you're trolling because you can't build Divine on that character and do his job. You can't build you can't play Scylla because if you can buy Divine there, but it doesn't feel that great. It does change who I think you can play. Gods like Thoth, I think, go up in value. Gods like Agni, gods who can easily apply Divine Ruin over a large area without committing their whole kit is really, really important. So don't be picking... Well, you should be picking Zeus either way, but gods like that, like Baron, who is getting more popular in mid, who I love, unplayable in my mind, because you bailed Divine on that guy and he hits one dude. Like, that's all he hits. I don't know. I guess he heals himself, so. I
think Baron's sick. I love Baron.
He's good. He's got good matchups. He's real, dude. I will say, I love playing Baron against Raw. Like Baron Raw, you're just kind of toast in that matchup if you're the Raw. But otherwise,
he's also got some really bad matchups.
Yes, dude. You just can't play against a lot of guys.
Into a few mages, into a few frontliners. You gotta just get ran over.
Listen,
few junglers too.
Here's what I'll tell you, chat. If I'm 10th pick in the lobby and I'm playing mid, I am itching to play either Baron or Hades if it's the right game. Hades also dumpers on healers, dude.
My man.
Like Hades mid, if you have the right matchups, love it. It's so good. Those are some gods that you could probably work on if you're looking for some off-meta stuff that I think is there. But don't pick anything against Hell, because Hell is unbeatable against all gods. As far
just ban it.
And Chang'e. Everyone's banning Ra. I think I'd rather play against Ra. I'd rather play against Ra 100 games in a row than play against Chang'e twice.
Wow.
I hate Chang'e.
What about Hell?
I'd rather play against Ra 100 times than play against Hell once.
Yeah. A lot of Raws, I feel the same way about Ra that I feel about Umoja. If you can't play Ra, don't play Ra.
Yep. Agreed.
And there's a big difference between the people slamming the buttons and hitting everything and having good positioning than the guy combat healing and is way out of position.
Dude, Sally brings up in the chat, Hades jungle needs to make a return. I was talking about this with the casters the other day. I think Hades is one like jungle specific buff away from being a legitimately sick jungler. Like what makes him a bad jungler? I think it's just long CDs. I think that's basically it. His jungle clear is like good. If you took like 2 seconds flat off of his 3, he'd be a sick jungler. Just walking around clearing camps. His ganks are good.
So you have to auto tag?
Yeah.
How many like if you hit like early mid game, do you have to hit every thing with an auto attack? Do you have to do like 3 autos before you can go on to the next one?
Probably only 2, I would say. Okay. Like through them, once you get boots in like a tier 2 of Bancroft or something like that, you're good. What's his ganking potential? You auto blink, like, so that you get there as your auto hits there. You 2 and 3, and they die. And then they beads and they dash or jump, and then you dash them and ult them, and they die.
I feel like his ganks are only good if you're ganking them in a wave.
I don't think so. He doesn't, like, you're not trying to solo them if you're ganking most of the time, right? Like, you just need to set up for your laners. He's not going to be your hard carry jungler, but he is so nuts in team fights at times and in the against the right picks. He's got a 2-second fear, you guys. How does or silence? I mean, it's a worst case silence. Silence is OP.
I've been on the Hades train for like a year and a half.
That god is last year so close to being like one of the best gods in the whole game. Not kidding.
I think I got Andy to play Hades ADC.
Yeah.
Back or last year, because I was like, this character has to be good in 1v1s. Like, literally has to be. And it was in like the assassin mageman. I was like, can you just kill them?
Yeah. You can.
And Andy fragged with it.
Dude.
There you go.
There you go. Hades is the pick. Let's talk a little bit about NA as well. It was the Xbox boys, Mind the Gap, who ended up winning it. That was Crimson, Griff, Layers, Quig, and Wolves. It's so funny. It was them against Solar Troll's team, Spreed, in the finals. Spreed had won that matchup every single time they faced, except for the finals today. They played like 4 times during the regular season, lost them all. Mind the Gap did. They played them earlier in the tournament, got knocked to losers bracket from it, and then they 3-0 them in the finals in order to go to Worlds. So I guess turning it up when it matters most. What did you see from that Mind the Gap team?
My heart is racing right now, dude.
Woo! We got a 50 times one. Another bonus.
Boom!
I love how pretty it is.
Ignition, and it's good. It's very good.
I was mainly focusing on Sot's team. Sot's team just kept diving so poorly.
Yep.
And Mind the Gap was playing from a top perspective. Mind the Gap was playing like 5 players, and Sot's team was playing like 2 people were in comms and the rest weren't.
Yep.
And so no offense to like their front line, but Sot and Heed were just like diving so hard, so many times, and I just feel like their backline was always playing like catch up or like chase, and they just kept trying to find their front line who was like diving so deep. I don't know, it just looked so disjointed.
Yep. They were definitely on different pages.
Mind the Gap just looked like 5 cohesive players that were playing really well together.
Yep.
And yeah, it just uncoordinated, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, agreed. Guy J obviously had a sick event. He looked really, really good the whole weekend. Sot showed me a lot in jungle in terms of his god pool and the way he was going to play in more competitive settings. I liked what I saw from him. Obviously, in the finals, they got a little bit out of whack, but it was really, really good from them all weekend. I was really impressed with Spreen, their mid laner.
Yep, agreed.
Who I thought was kind of just going to be along for the ride when you've got guys like Guy J and Solar Patrol on your team. But I thought he really was a big part of when they were playing well. So I was really impressed with him. But on the other side, bro, this is not news to anybody who has heard me talk about it for a while. I'm a Crim fanboy, dude. That dude is sick. Like, he's just nuts. I really think that he could get a shot at SPL if mid wasn't so stacked right now, which it kind of is, so it's kind of unlucky for him. But I think he's the real deal. Layers is obviously the real deal. With
Alright, so I think Layers is going to be in SPL next year.
I think Layers is going to be in SPL as well. I think he's ready to take that next step. Griff really impressed me. This weekend.
He was really. I don't really know that much about Griff, but
Yeah.
I was very shocked at how well he was playing.
Yeah, Griff's a really good player. He's been a little bit inconsistent, I thought. But this whole weekend, I thought he played absolutely lights out. Wolves stepped up.
Yep.
Quig played a lot better. Yeah, that team's sick, dude. They're really good. Excited to see what they can do at Worlds. How do you like their matchup against SSG?
I'm glad I'm playing Belt Slap, and I hope that doesn't get clipped if we lose. But
It will now. It might not have before, but now it will.
glad I'm playing Belt Slap. I think Mind the Gap looked really, really good. Not to say the Belt Slap didn't. I just think I don't know if it's like an NAEU thing or something
Sure.
in my main.
It's probably part of it. Here's what I'll say, and I don't even think this is that hot of a take. If SSG play like they did at playoffs,
Oh no.
they could very easily lose. Very easily lose. They could. They've got to play better than what they did. Now, if SSG plays anything like they did during the regular season, Mind the Gap is toast, right? Like because every team is toast. SSG is that good. I don't want to undersell that team at all. I think they are
Good save.
Yeah, they are really they have legitimate world champion. Like, if they say that not making it to finals is a disappointment for them on the year, I get it. Like, I think they are finals bound if they play as well as they can as they normally do. But if they play as poorly as they did at playoffs, and it's only one best of 5, no double elim, which I like for the record. Got to show up and play on that day. They've got to be worried about this Mind the Gap team. They can't overlook them.
Yep, I completely agree.
Dude, I'm getting amped up already, bro. World is gonna be so nuts.
Okay, real quick, I need to rant.
Yeah, please.
Actually,
Should I take a bite? I've got my dinner right here. No, please rant. I've got my dinner. I'll take a bite. Go ahead.
Winter dogs.
Yeah. And
What are you doing?
Who knows?
I am so disappointed in you. I'm literally a disappointed father right now because I know those players are so good, and I know they can play so much better than they did. And, like, what happened? Why? Execution? Like, playmaking style? Overall plan making in general? So one-dimensional? Like, Yeah, Andy's team.
Yeah.
Andy and Aqua, my boys. My children.
Look, man, that team gets in there. I have never seen a team get in there as much as that team gets in there. And
Yeah, but it's like they get there, they get to the destination. It's like, what are we doing here?
I don't know.
We're at this red buff. We're at this purple buff. There's a Thor dunking us?
Weird.
Mind blown.
I think they are really close to being. They have half the equation complete. They understand what their game plan is, and they've all bought in really hard to it. And then the other half of the equation is understanding what the enemy team is going to do based on what you're doing. And there is nothing here. Like, if we're talking like we're allocating points, it's all in buying in. They all bought in. And I think that the way that they play and the theory that they came up with on how to play the game can work. I'm about it. I think that style can work, but you have to be ready for what the enemy is going to do to you. And it's almost like they said, if we do what we want to do, it won't matter what the enemy team does. Yep. And that's just not true. So they were close.
The way I was saying,
they were either going to come in and they were going to 2-0 20-minute games everybody, or they were going to have what happen. And those were the only two options for that team.
They just look lost. Like, they did the 2-man start in duo and then straight to red, but then they got to red and it was like, what are we doing now?
Yep.
And then, like, the ADC would just go back to duo, and then they would, like, 3-man fight awkwardly at the red buff. Sometimes they would get it, sometimes they wouldn't. And then they were at the purple basically every respawn.
Yep.
But it was, like, the overall plan for what happens at the purple, because obviously they're going to defend it because it's such a scripted play. Like, there was no, like, afterthought there. Yeah. And they just should have been playing so much better, man. Like,
I know. Feels
it's
bad.
just painful.
They were not the winter dogs on that day. That's for sure. So again, to recap, the SWC wildcards, Mind the Gap comes out of North America. They will be playing against SSG. Belt Slap comes out of Europe and plays against the Renegades. All of that starting January 5th for the placement round at Worlds. It's going to be sick. Worlds is going to be nuts. I can't wait. The other thing that I wanted to talk about on today's show, because this is our last show of 2020, is that this is going to be our last show before Christmas. Hanukkah's going on right now, so happy Hanukkah to everybody who celebrates. What are you're a Georgia boy, so this feels weird because for me, Christmas I associate with like snow and cold and like all that kind of stuff, and I'm sure that you don't like snow is not like a thing for you.
I think we've had one snowy Christmas, I want to say.
That's crazy.
Like,
dude,
where you
Christmas
can go outside.
Snow is the best.
Like, when I say snow, it's like there's like more than an inch on the ground.
Right.
Like, you can maybe like build a snowman out of that, and like you can maybe slide down a hill.
Ooh, big.
But it's not like anything crazy.
No.
It's not like we're getting like 6 inches or more. I think we might have gotten like 2 or 3 one year. I remember a year on my birthday, we got like 3 inches of snow.
That must have been awesome. Yeah, that must have been sick.
I was super young and I was just so happy. I was like, yes, I get to go play in the snow on my birthday. And I just ran outside, fully equipped. And, I had some fun. And yeah, there's not really any snow ever here. Ever.
Nope. Sucks. Actually, that's not true. In Georgia, since I've been here, there has historically been like 1 snow a year that's like 2 inches. And it shuts down the city for days because they're not equipped.
Was it Season 3 Worlds?
Yeah, Season 3 Worlds.
A little off topic, but
freezing, dude. It was like that. Yep. It was like that. Or no, it was season. When was that? It was season 4. I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Pretty sure it was season 4 because I don't think it was my first Worlds, but maybe it was that I worked. But yeah, there was one Worlds where it was like freezing rain and it was so cold. It was so bitter cold. I was so worried about my vocal cords because going from warm to cold to warm is really bad for your vocal cords. But being outside is just kind of bad for your vocal cords, but that's kind of the way it goes. It's one of the reasons why I really don't like having Worlds in January is because I go home to visit my family, and I'm so worried about my it's like vocal hygiene is what it's called, like making sure your vocal cords are taken care of. And I'm so paranoid all the time about losing my voice because I really don't want to lose my voice for Worlds. So I have a scarf on at all times. I'm like chugging warm tea constantly. It's a pain.
That's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. Keeping care of your vocal cords is important in the business for sure. But do you have a favorite Christmas present you've ever gotten?
I don't know if I have a favorite present. I will say Christmas for my family has always been like a big thing.
Yep.
And my family, we would make Christmas lists, and they would just we would get like a limit of dollars for that year, and they would just buy us anything within like that dollar range.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think I have a favorite gift because kind of every Christmas when I was younger was just amazing. Like spending time with my family, and just I think Christmas is by far my favorite time of year.
It's the best.
It's everyone's happy, man. Like the energy on that day is truly different than any other day during the entire year. Yep. Like birthdays, anniversaries, nothing even comes close to a Christmas morning.
Yep.
And I will stand on that hill and I'll probably die on that hill.
Nothing, dude. Nothing matches, dude. When I was young, my wife makes fun of me because I fall asleep. As soon as my head hits the pillow, I am asleep within 2 minutes every night. Like, I'm very lucky in that regard that I do not stay up. But and that was the case when I was younger too, but Christmas Eve night, I literally could never sleep. I was too excited every single night, every single Christmas Eve night, and I would be so exhausted all Christmas because I would like stay up all night because I just couldn't. But I still feel that excitement for sure. I don't think I have a specific favorite Christmas present. It might be my dad. My parents divorced when I was really young, so I always had 2 Christmases growing up. Mm-hmm. We would do Christmas on Christmas, like my Christmas day with my dad would be waking up at his house on Christmas Eve. We'd do presents and everything like that. And then I'd go to my mom's house, sleep there, have another Christmas on Christmas Day. So I was very fortunate in that regard. But my dad one time had the best move, which was we had a PlayStation, and I'd asked for some games for PlayStation, but the PS2 had just come out, but I didn't. I had like mentioned that I wanted it, but didn't think I was gonna be able to get it. Mm-hmm. And then at the very end, he got me the game that I wanted, but it was for PS2. It was like the newest like football game, and I was like, oh, thanks so much, Dad, but this is for the PlayStation 2, so we'll have to take it back, but we can get it in PlayStation 1. It's not a big deal. It's like, oh, okay, sorry about that. I think there's one more present under there. And it was a PS2. And I lost my damn mind, dude. I was pogging off. I literally could have launched into space. I pogged off so hard. I was like, what? He totally got me. Because I didn't even think he knew the difference between a PlayStation and a PlayStation 2. It was a great memory, for sure. I definitely I remember that quite well. Do you have any does your family have any big like Christmas traditions that your family does, like Christmas Eve or anything like that?
I would say, I don't think we have like traditions, but we always would eat breakfast, mm-hmm. and then we would go open presents, which is painful because I don't think you've ever went to my like home, like childhood home, sorry.
No.
But the living room and the dining room are right next to each other. And the dining room, you could literally just look into the living room.
Yeah.
And see all the presents wrapped up under the tree. And just the excitement that would build knowing that I'm about to get exactly what I have asked for. Just, bro. There's nothing like a childhood excitement about either a game or a toy or anything that I don't even know how to explain it, man.
Well, because you have no worries, right? Like you don't have bills or that, like you know, it's
No, like
Christmas
second
break.
thought about it. It's
Yeah,
just
like
happiness.
you are just the only thing you can think about is how much you want this toy or something like that, and what you're gonna do with that toy, and how much fun it's gonna be, and like nothing else consumes your brain like the drag of adulthood does. So you could just like embrace.
It's always there.
Yeah, it's just always there. It's constantly there.
Did you remember like first like multiplayer game and just the experiences you would have on that, and just how new and fresh everything was?
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love playing multiplayer games and competing and all of that, but there's nothing like just dipping your foot in the water for the first time and playing against people online and like winning. It's just a different feel.
Man, it wasn't my first multiplayer game, but I will never forget waiting outside the GameStop at midnight for Modern Warfare 2, coming home, popping it on, and loading it up for the very first time. Afghan was the map that I played on. My mind was blown at how good the graphics were and how fun everything was. God, I love Modern Warfare 2 so much. I could do a whole podcast on Modern Warfare 2. I'm not even kidding. I have hundreds and hundreds of hours in that game. That's when I peaked as a gamer, Barra, was Modern Warfare 2. You didn't know me back then, but I was tearing up the game battle streets, okay?
Wait, so was I.
Did you guys play Search at all?
Yeah. I think we only played Search.
Then we might have played. Me and my boys were front page of MW2 Search game battles. Top 25, baby.
We were not that good.
That's right. Told you I peaked.
I'll be honest.
Man. I peaked.
We were in some tournament. I think it was like a Dr. Pepper tournament. And we had two teams because we were farming points. And then the good team started playing, and suddenly we were not like top 4 anymore. And life got rough after that.
That was when the first adult despair came in. Was at that moment. That is too funny. All right, well, we hope you guys have a great holiday and everything like that. Stay safe. Make sure you're being responsible going for me and my family. We're doing a very strict bubble, so that's what we're doing to try and stay safe. So definitely please try and consider that if you are planning on seeing family. Regardless, we hope you have a great holiday. Well, when is our next episode, let me check the calendar real quick here, will be the
last one for the year.
Yeah, January 3rd will be our next episode because I will be gone the next 2 Sundays. Come back January 3rd, and then the 4th is Worlds. So it gets serious. Do you guys, or Worlds Prep, I suppose, because it starts on the 5th. So we are going to be, our next episode will be breaking down Worlds, what we think. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a good time. Dude, and you guys are going to find out Season 8 stuff, so we can talk about that afterwards. Let's go! This is going to be big.
Wait, when?
We always do stuff revealed at Worlds.
Oh, I thought you meant for the podcast before Worlds. I was like, what?
No. After Worlds. We'll be able to talk We'll be able to dedicate an episode of Worlds. We'll be able to dedicate episodes, I'm sure, to Season 8. It's gonna be good. Things are looking good for us right now. So hopefully these next 2 weeks go by fairly quickly. Thanks again for everyone for listening. Make sure you're giving us a rating on.
Wait, you have a question?
Well, the question was all the Christmas stuff. What do you mean?
The Christmas
favorite
stuff.
present,
sorry.
family tradition.
Well, that was like a normal question. So.
All right. Yeah, Bear. Here we go.
Weird.
No. I don't want it to be weird.
Okay.
Let's see. What do I have on my desk here? For some reason, I have some Arby's coupons here on my desk. So, what's your order at Arby's?
So I got it when I worked at the theater. That was my favorite restaurant, fast food restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Arby's is underrated, bro. People hate on it. You're wrong.
Oh, I think you meant like
no. People who are hating, wrong.
Arby's is delicious. Probably my third on the tier list of top 5 fast food restaurants for me.
But first, if you sponsor us. Yeah.
And I think I got 2 things on the dollar menu. Do they still have a dollar menu?
I don't know.
It was like 2 of like the sandwiches of beef
and cheddar.
I don't think they had cheese on them.
Oh, okay. But the classics.
Yeah, and I would get like the Arby's sauce, drizzle it all over there, and I would get fries and actually 2 things of the dollar fries, 2 sandwiches, and then 2 cups of water. So I was poor, and I would buy everything off the dollar menu and thirsty. Dude, The water cups they gave you were like this big. Okay, it was like 6 inches. Like
Great
small.
podcast content. Yep, as always.
Yeah, you can see this.
One of those moments.
Okay, what's your Arby's order?
I'm a chicken bacon Swiss kind of guy. I love their chicken bacon Swiss sandwiches. No honey mustard because honey mustard's disgusting. And if I'm feeling it, one thing that Arby's has going for them is they have sick sides. Where else are you getting mozzarella sticks besides Arby's in a drive-thru? You know, you're not getting them anywhere. Okay, so sometimes I'm getting mozzarella sticks. Their potato pancakes, like the little hash browns they have, also delicious. I love those too. You've never had them? They're great. They're like giant fluffy hash browns, basically.
They had like an orange creamsicle shake once, and it was really good.
Oh yeah. No, my grandma loves their Jamocha shakes. She thinks those things are the best. Rank fast food top 10 next podcast. I could do a whole podcast on fast food. I'm so sure of it. I eat way too much of it. And I love it. Like, I legitimately love fast food for what it is.
See, I hate it, but I could still contribute.
I love it. I just can't. I crave it from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed. Always have, and I probably always will. All right, yeah, give us a rating, all that kind of good stuff. Have a great holiday. Have a great New Year's. Stay safe, everybody. And we'll see you in 2021. What?
Oh, wow.
What in the world?
Wait, I'll be 30.
Oh, my God. You will be 30. All right, 30th birthday podcast bash.
Let's go.
It's going to be a special one. That is going to be nuts. All right, hit him with the last goodbye of 29 for you, John. Hit it.
Oh, I'm nervous. You put so much pressure. But I can't do it. I can't focus.
Barra, okay, wait, no, I'm not letting you go out like that, okay? I'm not letting you go out, okay? Focus up.
I'm too nervous.
World
My
stage.
face is
no,
red.
the world stage. Dude, this is full circle to what we talked about at the very beginning of the podcast. But you're locked in now, okay? You feel nervous, but you've just loaded in, and it's just like every other podcast. All right, hit it. Go ahead.
Closing my eyes.
Okay.
Give me 30 seconds.
All right. Can I talk during the 30 seconds? It's going to be bad podcast content.
Or you can talk in 30 seconds.
You look like you're trying not to throw up.
My throat got so dry all of a sudden. I can't do like the bot because it'll just squeak.
Okay, just mute me if you have to. I'm going to talk to chat while you're getting ready. So Barra's getting ready. He's going to deliver an appropriate, not necessarily the best, but we're going to be happy with whatever we get out of this bye. He clearly did not mute me because he almost did a spit take. He may have actually done a spit take. He has now walked off the camera. So hopefully he's doing okay.
I couldn't swallow the water.
Okay, did you go spit it out?
Yeah, my throat's too tiny.
With a joke hole that's just for air. That's it. I think you should leave reference, but I changed it because it would have been really weird in that context. I'm sorry to put so much pressure on you, Barry. Are you ready now, or do I have to stall more?
I was almost there, man. Could you stop talking?
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. Wait, I'm supposed to keep talking or stop talking?
Okay, let me mute you.
Okay, yeah, mute me. That's a good idea. Okay.
Mute myself.
Okay, he's muted himself. Wait, don't mute yourself, because then I can't hear you. You're going to unmute. He can't hear me.
Okay.
Here we go.
Stop saying "here we go."
I thought you muted me, man. I thought you muted me. This podcast literally goes on for hours. It's just this for like the next 45 minutes. It's our longest podcast ever. Everyone looks at their phones. They're like, "Why is this podcast so long?" It must be this crazy long special podcast. Little do they know, it's only the normal 45 minutes and then just another hour and a half of Barra trying to say goodbye.
No, I have to do the special bot.
Right.
I see your face. Okay, I gotta cover your face.
I'll turn my own webcam.
It's just too much pressure.
There you go.
It's so much pressure.
I turned it off. You don't have to worry.
I can't do it, dude. I have performance anxiety.
Professional player, by the way. I'm sure Renegades are gonna do great at the world stage. All right, can I do it for you? Can I try that?
Yeah.
Bye.
That was awful, man.
So, do you want to do it or not? Am I into the show or what?
You sounded so soft.
All right, well, I just impersonated you, so I guess it's on you now.
I can't.
Dude, I've gone to the splash screen twice, bro. I'm not coming back a third time. That's all I'm saying.
I swear this doesn't normally happen.
Don't look at chat.
I can't do it.
Okay. All right.
Dude, my neck hurts from laughing. Okay. Bye.
So bad. So bad.
Turn off the podcast.